stand up. I had never been to the school to talk to any teacher. If those things are the grounds for dismissing a teacher, then every one of my son's teachers needs to be dismissed and fired. But I'm not here to do that. What I'm here is to thank them, because they built character. He was not a pansy. Yeah, he had hard times. He broke down in tears. He was embarrassed in front of the class. But he sat there and he made it through it and he performed. And I'm going to tell you here in a little bit the reasons why. As part of the FFA, he went to be a champ camp every summer. He showed all kinds of animals. The FFA teacher would stop all over the United States and buy some of the best livestock in the land. Now, I was a teacher and a probation officer, so we weren't the richest family. I didn't have the money to spend on the stock. But something happened. And I'm going to tell you what happened is, you ever heard the saying, some people go fishing and others go catching? Well, we'd show up, other kids would show animals, we showed up to win. And I'd like to thank the FFA department for the wallpaper on my son's room, because it's nothing but banners. It's nothing but ribbons. It's nothing but belt buckles and plaques. It is a thing of beauty. You guys, the things that I'm hearing, you're making the newspaper. Here you have a teacher that's, for some ungodly reason, wants to teach ag. You're making the newspaper. And the thing is from my understanding...
Raymond Cullis. I had a principal that was awesome. I did Elfrid Elementary, and the superintendent and the principals there were great. I had 2 or 3 of them. They were awesome. I did my last 20 years here. I had Mr. Wing, who is tough as they come. He said, go get them. Do whatever you got to do. Mr. Wing was very supportive. I had I had Bullington, same thing, backed me up 100%. Ben Rodriguez, backed me up 100%. Then we had Dr. Woodall. Dr. Woodall understood CTE because he was an ag student. He competed in national contests. He knew exactly what FFA was all about. He knew exactly what CTE was all about. And he supported us 100%. I can't say that my last year here, I had Ben Rodriguez, but I can't say that I had the best superintendent then. But the only thing that I kept me going at the very end, I had Chick. Chick told me, Mr. Zamudio, I will sign any paper for you to take my kids anywhere. Because I took his son quite a few places. Tanner and I go back a long ways. That's the best I can do. I've been blessed. I've had my brother who was an ag teacher. He says, I had superintendents I didn't like. My other brother who was an ag teacher said the same. My son who's an ag teacher said the same. My daughter-in-law said the same. She's an ag teacher. My nieces, they're ag teachers, same thing. My nephew, who's a border patrolman now, same thing. He quit because of the superintendent and the administration. I was blessed. I had awesome from beginning to end. And Dr. Woodall just made everything great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, and thank you for giving us an opportunity to speak out. I am Amber Lee and graduated from Benson High School and also Benson FFA alumni and past president. I understand that there is a rumor that you will be deciding to replace current ag teacher Ms. Zamudio under non-criminal charges. I grew up in a ranching family here in Benson, and during my high school years, I was heavily involved with the FFA. I first started out in St. David as a freshman, and I quickly learned that the program was not strong and was not going to push me to achieve the goals I had for myself, and to this day, the program has not progressed. I transferred to Benson as a junior strictly for Mr. Zamudio's leadership, as he had a solid foundation with the program, and to this day, parents want their children to have the best program available to them, which has been Benson. Thanks to the Zamudio's, parents moved to this area to attend this school, and parents and children still drive over an hour to schools for the Zamudio program. I was on the equine judging team and won numerous district awards along with state awards in equine entrepreneurship and placement. After graduation, I moved to Oklahoma and attended Oklahoma State University, guards and working alongside world-class linguist veterinarians. Without my foundation, coming from the Benson FFA chapter, I would not have had these opportunities. I also want to point out that my career choice was different than others such as welders, ag mechanics, ag communications, meat processors, veterinarians, and more. We have had a lot of successful students come out of this program and do well in these job fields. It wasn't all about showing livestock. We need to have a strong leader such as the Zamudio family who have strong ties in our agriculture community. Their type of leadership and knowledge is very far and few between. To even think about replacing them would be a near impossible task. Yes, you may be able to fill a seat, but they can't produce hardworking and productive individuals. I just want to make it very clear to the board what an ag advisor job can entail. For example, when our local veterinarians are unavailable in an emergency situation or they're not skilled to assist in instances such as hiding a blooded show steer, needing assistance such as mine did, I was grateful that Mr. Zamudio answered the phone after hours and also had an FFA vehicle to get him to and from a situation like this and was willing to and able to help me in my time of need. Bottom line is, an ag advisor wears many hats, and they should be trusted to make the right choices for livestock and students without being micromanaged by administration that do not have the same background and knowledge to include a great reputation. Let's not let go of a legacy over non-criminal charges. Thank you.
Ms. Garrett.
My name is Mindy Garrett. I'm the mother of Buchanan Garrett and formerly Bob Garrett. He's the FFA president right now. He can't be here, so I'm here, but he's not told me what to say. I'm just saying what I feel. I'm not from Benson. I don't even know FFA before I moved here. I'm Canadian. I only knew about it from Dixie Chicks, so my exposure, my knowledge is very minimal with it. I've spoken to Jessica once, so I'm not here on her behalf or anything like that. I am just an innocent, just a bystander, just from what I've seen as a nobody. I want to acknowledge that I know that the superintendent, the board, and the teachers and everybody involved are doing their best job. I do think that everybody does their best, and sometimes disagreements happen, and we all don't see eye to eye on it. But what I'm going to do is just see the situation, or explain the situation as I see it. The question is, has she done enough, or has she done something that qualifies as termination? And so what I wanted to mention was just some things that I know. I know there's a concern about her having the kids address her as Jessica instead of Mrs. Zamudio. Now when I look at Jessica, I think of her as more of a coach than a teacher, in the sense that she spends a lot of time out of school with the kids in extracurricular activities. My son goes to state camps and all sorts of things. So she becomes more of a coach than a teacher. And I can tell you that Coach Raz is not Mr. Rasmussen or Coach Rasmussen, he's Coach Raz. I can tell you that Coach Webb is Webb, he's not Coach Webb. I only know wrestling and football, so that's what I'm going to go off of. I'm sure there's more, but Terry Kilpatrick is Terry to the kids, so I don't think addressing her by the first name is really, it's an issue that expands beyond her, and I don't think it really matters that much. There's some concern about her messaging kids on Snapchat. I can tell you that my kids have had personal cell phone numbers and Snapchats of other coaches. I'm not going to go into details. I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus. But I think the issue is more widespread, and by honing in on her and addressing it just with her, I think we need to look at everybody. I also want to say that my son plans on running for FFA state officer, and as a result of all this, he's been approached by a different FFA teacher in the county who gave him her personal cell phone number so he can know the stuff he needs to know to be able to become an FFA state officer, which now he has the personal cell phone number of a teacher from a different school, which I would assume is also not encouraged by the board. So what I'm saying is there's a lot of communication that occurs outside of sports here or whatever it's supposed to be. And then finally there's this concern about her drawing the line between teacher and she does more for the kids than she should. I don't know if I said it or not, but I do want to say that I acknowledge that she can do better. There's things that she can do to be more in line. Can I finish it? Be more in line with the with what management wants, and I think management can give a bit more, and I think there's a way to work it out. I hope, I don't know if too much has been said at this point, that if the relationship is salvageable or not. I think that's important.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Michelle Goodwin, a mom of 2 Benson graduates, a freshman, also Benson, did FFA with Zamudio. I was a 4-H leader for 14 years. I've been attending the Cochise County Fair for 17 years. My kids have been showing and raising livestock all their life. In the rural setting where we live, we strive to be kind, help one another, especially other ag folks who are in the struggle with us. Raising kids and livestock are both challenging, yet very rewarding. The experience it teaches our children are like no other. It teaches hard work, grit, integrity, financial budgeting, office skills, interview skills. It teaches them to be gracious losers and winners. It's not for the lazy or faint of heart. It's a big community, and we help each other out. That includes helping each other do chores when someone goes out of town, doctoring sick animals, hauling or picking up animals, or whatever the situation may arise. We help each other out. My boys have done very well in FFA, place in winning state green hand, and Tristan qualifying for state star farmer, and now Shacey qualifying for the state green hand amongst multiple awards for their SAEs. It takes a lot from not only kids but from us as parents. As a former leader of 4-H, I had many parents get upset when their kids didn't win because they didn't understand it's not an overnight thing and support is required from parents. These are kids. Many parents send their kids to fair and maybe only show up for show day, not realizing all that goes into it, weeks, months, and days prior. Clipping, debugging, feeding, setting up, washing animals, paperwork involved. I know firsthand how much it takes, and it's a lot. Not just the work, it's the cost of equipment and animals and feed. Without having the opportunity to show through the school, probably 85% of these kids who show through Benson FFA would never get to do it because of the cost to get started. Just the equipment alone is a couple $1,000s, and that don't even include any vet bills or things that arrive. It's expensive, but well worth the investment if your kids enjoy it. This program gives kids a chance to experience it without spending the money they probably don't have. Many breeders are even willing to let kids take and raise animals and pay them back once they sell the animal. That's the ag industry and what people do. And I know some of you don't understand that. Some breeders will even buy back the animal if they're proud of what the kids have done. It's a donation and advertisement is for the breeder as well as an achievement for the kid. I've heard complaints about cursing or yelling in and out of the ag classroom. Well, these parents have never stepped on the football field, wrestling room, or any sporting event, clearly. Not only that, laziness and complacency is dangerous in this industry. When kids do not do the work or don't listen, it puts only kids at risk for injury, but everyone around at risk. A wild 1,300-pound heifer can be dangerous. If not worked and handled for months, it's not something you can tame overnight. I can tell you in the 17 years that I've been to fair, no ag teacher does what Jessica does. She makes sure the kids have what they need. She makes sure that they're fed, their animals are ready. As a leader, we can't do everything for kids, and sometimes failure is the best tool, but not all parents get that. Benson FFA has welcomed in other students who have no leader, like St. David, to join us from stalling to eating with us, because it's what you do, you help others. We are all human and make mistakes. No one is perfect, but being helpful, kind, and thinking of others is important. I know at times people forget and get caught up in life, but that don't erase all the good things they've done. Personal vendettas, jealousy, and trying to take over people's jobs are not acceptable, especially in this environment. If you're going to condemn one teacher, you better condemn them all, because none of them are perfect. It's very disappointing in the administration timing of this whole charade. They said they cared about kids. They chose to speak to the classes, tell them not to talk about it. They ransacked her room in front of the kids like a crime scene. And their timing to do this was literally the worst time for kids competing at state.
I'll let you go.
One more question for you. My daughter is getting ready to have her state interview. So who is going to help us prepare? Because this is important. My son won a $5,000 National FFA scholarship. So it's important.